regardless of LeBron returning to Cleveland or not. Now we know he is heading to Los Angeles to play for the Lakers. Monday, Jason Lloyd of The Athletic says that multiple sources from around the league insist that the Cavs are indeed open to moving Kevin Love. He's on the books for $24 million next season, $25.5 million on a player option for the 1920 season. Billy, should the Cavs look to deal Kevin Love?
I don't think they should look to deal, but I think they should listen to any offers from anybody, because they're in a position right now. They're not where they were trying to get to a championship. So they got to listen. If somebody makes a deal for Kevin Love, even though he's in the last year of his deal, so you don't want to take a contract back, now this is somebody you want to build with going forward. So if you're getting young pieces, yes. But just to trade them, I wouldn't just give them away. There are other guys on that roster with 2 years on their deal. I would try to do everything I can to move them to try to give you cap flexibility. But Kevin Love is somebody that, if you want to let him play it out and then use that space at the end of the year, or maybe trade him at the deadline. But you're going to listen to offers right now, because you're not really going anywhere right now. LeBron's gone, so you're going to listen to offers of anybody in that roster. And Kevin is probably the most valuable.
And the other thing that you could also entertain is, if you feel like you have a bad contract, you could put that in the deal. If you want Kevin Love, you've got to take this contract with it.
Like George Hill.
George Hill, you might even consider J.R. Smith. Yeah. So like those are other ways that you can try to get rid of contracts that you deem to be bad contracts at this point, based on where that roster is. So it's something that they're definitely going to have to look at moving forward. And if you're Kevin Love, you probably would welcome the opportunity, having gotten used to playing for championships. Right. He'd probably like the opportunity to go play for a contender.
Looking up and down the East, with LeBron out, are the Cavs a playoff team?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I just don't think so.
Right, LeBron.
Well, remember, this team with LeBron they won 50. Right. It wasn't like they were winning 60, 62. Right. So that roster, absent LeBron, absent Kyrie, it's not quite the same.
And they still got decisions, like Hood's a free agent, so they've got to make some decisions on some guys.
There are still plenty of good free agents out in the market, both of the unrestricted and restricted variety. We come back on this edition of Free Agent Fever. We'll take a look at a big man who Houston would love to bring back, and other GMs salivating to put out an offer sheet on Clint Capella. Where will he end up?
More excitement than just utter surprise, and you better believe that the sun is definitely shining out here in L.A. and a lot of Lakers fans are really happy. LeBron is in that ilk. I mean, he's as good as it gets. LeBron is as good of a player as this NBA has ever seen. And him going to the Lakers, they're not a championship caliber team right now today, but they're a playoff team, and they're a team that can win a series or two. I just don't think that they are quite as good as Houston or Golden State right now, But this is huge for Magic, huge for the Lakers, and big for the NBA.
Well, Kevin McHale and Derek Fisher reacting to the news of LeBron going to the Lakers. Also got the big stunner of the Warriors getting DeMarcus Cousins, but still plenty of great talent out in the market. Many of the restricted free agent variety, including Clint Capella, who reportedly met with the Rockets on Sunday. His agent aggressively, according to reports, trying to seek other offers. He's a guy that gave the Rockets. Capella did about 14, 11, and 2 blocks a game. And now with DeMarcus Cousins going to the Warriors, isn't there even more of a sense of urgency to bring back Capella?
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes you forget that this team was a game away from making it to the NBA Finals. They had 2 opportunities to close out the Warriors, and you could argue, but for that injury to Chris Paul, they may very well have done it. And the reason why they may have done it is Clint Capella is a huge part of that. And we were talking earlier, Billy, I mean, once they went all in on Chris Paul, that in essence means they got to go all in on Clint Capella, because without him on that roster, there's not a guarantee that they're the second best team or one of the top 2 teams in the Western Conference.
Well, and you look at the fact they lost Trevor Ariza, who was a big part of their defense, and Capella's a big part of defense. So if you don't re-sign him, that's 2 of your defensive players, and you got to go play Golden State now, who's just added Boogie Cousins, and they got the offense. Even though you came close, those 2 guys are a big part of it. So, and also the fact next year there are going to be a lot of teams with cap space. So if he takes just the qualifying arm, which is his decision, next year he's unrestricted, and you may lose him because everybody's going to be going after him.
Billy, let's look at some of these other guys. I want to kind of lump them together with Zach LaVine and Jabari Parker, some of these guys. From a team standpoint, is there a concern that you could kind of tick off the player, that you're making him go search out for that other offer that you indeed are intending to match, rather than just giving him what you'd pay him?
Well, some of them you are. Like Jabari, I think Milwaukee it's like a little love-hate relationship. They're not sure what they want to do. But Capella is somebody definitely you worry about. But Jabari, I think they're trying to get the number to their liking if they're going to bring him back. Zach LaVine, I think there's a relation there. They're negotiating where they both feel comfortable. I think that one is not as much where they can tick him off. I think he wants to be there. They want him there. They're just trying to get to the right number because there are some teams out there that can put an offer sheet. Atlanta could put one on Zach LaVine. So they don't want to get to the point because a lot of agents, what they'll do, they'll go to Atlanta and say, put an offer sheet. We know Chicago match it. Just put it in. You don't have to force it. So teams have done that and forced those other teams have to match.
And I don't think that and from a team standpoint, you almost want to allow the market to be set. And from a player's perspective, if you're not a max guy, you got to almost be willing to bet on yourself. And by that, I mean some of those guys like Clint Capella, he may not want to sign the extension. He may want to let his deal play out because he's going to have tremendous value next season. And for him to do what he needs to do is a lot easier than a guy that's got to go get 28 a night.
Yeah.
You know, his skill set, he's going to be comfortable doing what's necessary for him to be successful in that situation. So it's going to be interesting to see how this stuff plays out because now that all the big fish are gone, to your point with a team like Atlanta, you may start to see some of these deals offered to some of these restricted free agents.
No Brinks truck being backed up to Isaiah Thomas, but is there a market for IT right now?
I think there's a market, but maybe not the number he wanted. He may end up getting a deal like Cousins got, where it's a 1 year, 5.3. But if he's going to do that, he's got to go to the right situation where he's allowed to flourish and play and get his numbers and prove it right. He's the old IT that was in Boston.
And it probably won't be in L.A.
Well, maybe the Clippers.
It could be with the Clippers, but I don't think there's any doubt. And you know what? If I'm IT, he might want a 1 year deal too, for an opportunity to prove his value. And again, there's going to be a lot of money in free agency next year because there's going to be some big names out there, and not everybody can sign them. And if he goes to the right situation, he could very well find himself with a chance to cash in.
All these guys taking 1 year deals makes me wonder if we're going to be looking next season to see if guys are playing for a contract or playing to win, which sometimes can be different.
And next year we'll be on from July 1st until like July 9th with all these guys, all this money.
Yeah, right.
We're going to be on every day, all day.
Well, that's fine. You love that, right?
Yeah.
All right, this shock still has not officially subsided yet. DeMarcus Cousins going to Golden State. More reaction from the league and the world. Phone off. That's my question.
They tell you to on the plane.
Yeah, okay, well.
Airplane mode, baby. Airplane mode.
Yeah, J.J. Watt, he's got the ultimate respect for the NBA. He certainly sees it's wild.
JJ could have played in the NBA.
Reggie weighing in, center of the universe. Well, yeah, free agency would slow down and have time to go see Uncle Drew. Lil B, hopefully, it looks like DeMarcus he's not going to be cursed, right? He's not going to put the curse on him here. Joel Embiid, you knew he was going to weigh in. We showed you some tweets earlier. Sometimes changed his mind. Like who else? Like DeAndre Jordan from a few years ago. Let's make sure DeAndre signs in Dallas.
Oh, what if Dallas reversed psychology? What if that would be
Yusuf Nurkic.
Oh, man.
Man, people outside of the Bay Area not too happy. What do you guys think?
It's the rules. They play within the rules, and they
First
got
of all, nobody else signed him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were beating us down his door to break struck, right? To the
Much
victor
more
goes
free
the
agent
spoil.
coverage at NBA.com for Billy and GA and our crew. I'm Jared. Well, is Joel Embiid just appreciating the greatness of the Warriors? They're able to add a talent like DeMarcus Cousins. Well, when the news broke Monday night on Free Agent Fever here on NBA TV, our resident GM, David Griffin, put into context some polarizing comments made a couple years back by a Warriors owner to the New York Times Magazine.
They're going to be maybe the best team in the league without him.
Yep.
And the reality is they can wait until he's 100% and then unleash that on the rest of the league. They will have had no time to watch. Think about this. If he comes out and plays this first game, let's say March 1st, that makes Boogie Cousins for $5 million and all the tax money they're going to pay on that $5 million. Basically like their buyout acquisition. And you're going to watch that team play for a month and a half. You're not going to have any time to prepare for what it looks like, and then you have to adjust to it. I remember Joe Lacob made a comment once, and everybody bristled, called them light years ahead of the rest of the league. At this point, I think that might have been an understatement of what it was that they were cooking up at the time. It was foreshadowing, and we didn't know it. And now in hindsight, I understand it. They had designs on things nobody had ever thought about doing in the NBA. And what they've done now is they said, what's our Achilles heel? What's the one way people think they can beat us? And this is it.
willing to do things others won't. Anthony Slater covers the Golden State Warriors for The Athletic. This had to be a shocker for you. Anthony, let's start with the fact that, the Warriors have drawn some enemies, some venom over the last couple of years as their greatness has gotten better, adding Kevin Durant. What do you think the hate level or the venom level will be now around the NBA?
It's high. Just look at Twitter tonight, right? I mean, and it is a bargain for them. It gives them 5 All-Stars, which is pretty ridiculous. 5 guys in their prime, which I believe I saw a stat. This is the first time team will have 5 All-Stars from the previous season since 1975-76 Celtics. So the gathering of talent is unbelievable, but the hate for the Warriors is it rises a little bit, but I'm not sure it could have risen from the top level. It was already kind of ahead.
The planning and the vision that this front office has, not ever being satisfied with what they have in their current stable, but it also took some help from Kevin Durant. Can you break down for us exactly what happened with Durant's contract that helped make this Boogie contract possible?
Yeah, so the Warriors are so far in the tax that they didn't know if they were going to use their taxpayer mid-level exception this offseason, which is $5.3 million, because it was going to cost them about $22 million just to use it. And they needed to find a player that was worth it. But the fact that Kevin Durant, instead of taking a 2+1 or his full max, which would have started his salary at $35-ish million per year next year, actually he could only start it at $30 now. That $5 million in savings is really about 21 or so in tax savings, and they can basically shuttle that over to Cousins and not feel that financial hit as much. So again, like he did last year when he gave a bunch of money back to let them, get Iguodala and Livingston, he kind of did it again. This time I don't think it was as purposeful, but it saves the Warriors money, and it's another thing that the rest of the league is kind of not going to be too happy about.
Well, winning seems to be the cure-all, right? Guys come here and they conform to what the system is, but you're around this team on a daily basis. How does Cousins, with the reputation he has around the league, and how will others, with him putting up big numbers on the court and guys kind of balancing all out with who scores, who assists, who rebounds, how do you think this all gels together?
It's going to be very interesting, and the thing that people, just because the name of DeMarcus Cousins has kind of throttled people, a lot of people don't remember he's coming off an Achilles tear. He's probably not going to be ready till December and January. And he's a 270-pound dude that has guard-type moves, switching moves on the perimeter that could be hard to play on a recovering Achilles tendon. So I don't know how good he's going to look, especially early on, knocking off some of that rust. He's never played with this much talent. There's nobody really who's ever played with this much talent. So he's a 25-point-per-game scorer in his career. What if he's only getting, 13 and, he's kind of more in the second unit, and then he's never played high-level playoff basketball? What about him in a Rockets series where, maybe Houston's trying to isolate him, and maybe the Warriors, instead of having him on the court, want Andre Iguodala for defensive purposes? How does he handle that type of stuff? It's all going to be very interesting, but at the same time, they have not had an offensive talent in the center spot at all. They had 4 combined threes from their 6 centers last year, and DeMarcus Cousins had 124 himself last year in 48 games. So it's potentially unbelievable, the pick-and-roll options, all the different stuff they could do. But it's going to take time to gel, especially with him coming off the injury.
Yeah, are they done now in the Bay Area?
Or who done? Well, they still got 3 roster spots they're going to want to give. They really need wings. They only really got 3 wings because they're guard heavy, and they still got the big man spot, and they don't have any money. They're basically just going to need to go bargain shopping for some veteran minimum wings.
All right, Anthony Slater from The Athletic breaking down how the Warriors were able to get DeMarcus Cousins to the Bay. Thanks so much, Anthony. Read his work on The Athletic. Much more to come on this edition of Free Agent Fever. What's the latest on the Kawhi Leonard rumors? Can the Lakers get him? What about a team in the Eastern Conference? Plus, Summer League is underway. We'll get you a matchup between the 4th pick and the 5th pick of the 2018 draft. Jaren Jackson goes up against Trae Young from Utah.